This is Good Morning San Diego.
Phil Blair will join us to talk about how to develop your own network to find a job. Phil Blair of Manpower joins us with some tips on paving a successful career path. Looking for a job doesn't have to be a daunting task.
Yep, Phil Blair is networking as we speak, and he's going to join us after the break and tell us how you can find a job networking. If you are looking for a job, you know it can be such a grueling task. However, we have some tips on how you can develop a networking system and be prepared. Phil Blair from Manpower is here. This is part 2 of our discussion last week.
It is.
So networking is the most important part of getting a job.
It is, and one of the key parts of networking is the informational interview. It's people you don't know, typically, and you've gotten away using chits or connections or whatever to get in front of them. And if you remember last week, Alexa, I talked about a lady that I met with that said she had done 60 informational interviews.
Yeah.
And did not find them helpful at all. So I said, boy, you know what the program topic is going to be in the next couple of weeks. These are ideal ways to learn several things. One, about the company, about the person's personal career, and about that industry. For example, telecommunications. But you have to be prepared. You don't want to sit there and the person says, well, what kind of work are you looking for? And you go, oh, I don't know, maybe something in sales or maybe something. You have to be very clear. Now, what that involves is, as you know, you're going to have 3, 4, 5 career paths you're interested in. So you have a resume ready for each one of those career paths, just in case they bite on one that surprises you.
So the reason why the woman who had gone on 60 of these informational interviews didn't have any success was because she didn't really know what she wanted to do, right?
She wasn't clear on how the person could help her.
Okay.
You have to be very clear, I'm looking for something in these 3 career paths. And then, if something bites, because you've done your homework, and you happen to know there's a job opening at that company, and you lead into that. The other thing you want to use it for is referrals. Where else do you think I should look? Who should I talk to in these career paths?
In your experience, you find that most people are helpful. They want to help you get a job, even if it's not with them or their company.
They do. People, by nature, they want to be helpful. But also, in this economy, but for the grace of God, the roles could be reversed. Or they could be reversed in the next week or 2. And they're collecting chits of people they've met with in case they need it, or their family needs it, or a good friend, and they will use those chits. And that's how business is done. It's an appropriate way to do it. And you owe those people back if you've taken a half hour, 45 minutes of their time. But you need to make their time beneficial. They can't walk out going, well, that was a waste of my time.
Sure.
Because they're not going to be so crazy about keeping you in mind for job openings.
And speaking of job openings, you have one that you want to tell us about.
We have a fun one I thought the listeners ought to hear about. We're looking for an HR manager for the Girl Scouts here in San Diego.
Cool.
Great job, especially if you've been a Girl Scout. You don't have to have been. It's a moderate level job. We don't need a senior VP, but it's a fun job, and I thought the listeners, if they're interested, go to executive search at manpower-sd.com.
Does that mean like lifetime supply of cookies?
I bet you can eat more cookies. Probably after a week of working there, you're like, no more cookies the rest of my life.
Wonderful. Okay, executive search at manpower-sd.com.
That's it.
Phil, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll see you next week.